Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to show you how to install better lighting in your 2000, well mine's a 2013 Ford Focus, but this would pretty much work in any vehicle. Any of the newer Focuses, you can use the same wiring that I am. Sorry for the mess back here, I got a lot of stuff. But I did notice on the original stock lighting, I'll try and resemble it here, that was the original lighting. Camera makes it look a lot better, but in person it's actually really dark, and I just kind of got tired of that, so I decided to add a lot better lighting. You can even see right there in the video it looks a lot better than what it was. The lights that I'm using are these LED daytime running lights. They were purposely meant for the outside of the car, but I don't really have anywhere I could put those on the outside of the car, and I actually ended up getting those for free, but I will add a link on the description of where you can buy those at. They're really cheap, they're only like $5, and this is a great do-it-yourself hack. You will be screwing into the panel of the car, so if you're not okay with that, then I wouldn't recommend these lights, but this will work with any lights. Basically you could do LED strips, you could do normal lights, but the way it's wired up to is you can see the lights on obviously, but when the door shuts they obviously shut off, so you won't have to worry about them dying on you or anything like that. But the things you will need is a knife. I know this knife is a little overkill, but it's the only thing I have on hand. Wire strippers, I recommend getting these. These make life so much easier. Electrical tape and a Phillips head screwdriver. Optional soldering iron. You don't have to. I'm actually not going to, because I did do this one already, and I just found it too hard to actually get it to solder, or a point to where you could solder without burning your car, so I decided not to solder at all. So, but again, that's personal preference, it's up to you. Me, honestly, I don't see an issue of not soldering it, because I mean there's really nowhere to pull the wires out or short them, because I mean it's not in an element where it's in a hard area. This side here, let me see if I can pull out the wire here. On this side, the green and brown is positive, and the white and gray it looks like is negative. So I'm guessing this side is just going to be green, but if you actually reach up here, let me get some lighting in here. If you actually reach up into this hole and head towards the light, you can actually find the wires pretty easily. I've already found them. They're right here in this black tape. So, I mean, as you can see, that's not much room to play around with to tap in or to solder the wires, so that's why it's just better to splice into them, wrap them, and electrical tape them, in my opinion. Works just as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I'm actually gonna unclip this so I can lean this up on here. So first step is we want to get access to the wires. So what you want to do is you want to find out where the two wires go, and then just cut into the tape. Okay, now that I got to the wires, it actually looks like they're the exact same color as the other side. So it looks like they're actually hooked up to the same circuit, which makes life a lot easier. I thought they would have separated them, but they are not. So the brown and green again is going to be positive, the white and gray is going to be the negative. And now we got to tap into those wires, and this is why these wire splicers make life a whole lot easier. So what you're actually going to do just take the tool, wrap it inside of the wire, or wrap the wire inside the tool. Come on, get in there. And it's not wanting to agree with me. Now you could, if you wanted to, just cut the wires. I mean, there's no harm in that, but I mean, I like to have as much light back here as possible, so I'd rather just tap into them. And as you can see, once I got that wire in there right, it just split the wire with no issues. And it looks like the white one is going to be a lot nicer to me. And voila. And now I am into the wires, just like that. So now what we want to do is we're going to actually pause on the wiring aspect of it for now. And we're going to prepare the mounts here. So where I actually ended up on these, I just mounted mine right here, just like so. And they give you some nice sharp screws, but I still found them a little difficult to still screw in. So you actually want to prep where the screws are going to go. So I just took my knife and I put it exactly where I want it. And I put a little mark in the plastic on each one, like so. And then I just take my knife, get a little bit of light on that one. I just take my knife, I go back to that mark, and I just dig my knife in a little bit. That gets it just a good nice starting point. And I go back to the other mark and do the same thing. Just like that. Okay, and then what we do is we take the bracket and we go back to where the screw marks are. Okay, so a little tip, it's easier to just go ahead and start the screw and then just undo it with the bracket off. And then all you have to do is just take your screw again, start it, and there we go. And now the bracket is in. So there we go on that. And now we are going to wire in the light. Now also, while doing the other side, I learned it is very easy to blow the fuse if you touch both one of these wires together and short it out. So I don't recommend doing that. So I do recommend unplugging your battery, since when I am done you'll know exactly which wire is positive and which wire is negative. I'm still doing it with the battery on because I believe I'm correct on my wiring here. It's not going to do anything if you accidentally put on the positive onto the negative on here and the negative on the positive. It's not going to hurt it at all. So even if that does happen. But now I'm just going to test this, make sure that it is correct. Yes. So the green and brown is positive still, and the white and gray is a negative still. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap these together, just like that. And the light is working. And so now we just want to get that all electrical taped. And what I do is I take about a 4-inch strip and I actually just tape one side of it. Just like this. And I just completely cover it up make sure that none of those wires are exposed. And then I take a strip about double in size. And then I actually tape both of them together. If the tape wouldn't catch up on it. Oh well. Now again, you don't have to tap into it if you don't want to. You could always cut it. If you do decide to cut it, it would make it a lot easier to do. But like I said, you don't have to. And there we go. Just like that. Light is still working. You can move it around a lot. It doesn't short out. So that's why I don't think it was worth going through all of the effort to solder it together. Now granted, I mean, if you're doing a thicker wire, yeah, I would have if it was thicker wire, but it's not, so there's really no sense in going through all that. So now that it is all put in and all wired in, now it is time to hook on the light to the bracket and tuck away the wire, and it is all done. So now I'm gonna hop into my trunk here again. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm gonna pick up the wire here. I'm gonna put it above the light so it's a little easier, so I'm not trying to pull it through. And all we gotta do is just get it tucked in. Now on this car, it does hide away this back bracket, but it's really no big deal, again, because it's inside and it's not outside. So there's really no need to worry about it. I mean, it's not really going to fall off. And if it does, I mean, it's one screw. What's it going to hurt? And so I just screwed in. And this kit does come with all the wires, all the screws, the brackets, everything you need to add it in. Alrighty. So, it is all in. And I kind of wrapped that underneath these, but oh well. And so now that it's all in, what I just do with the wire is I just pick it all up here, and I just drop it all on the back. Just like so, and voila. And now you have trunk LEDs. And I mean, you can see just right there how much better my trunk is lit up. I will point these up and kind of give you a perspective. So there's pretty much what it was like before. Not very bright. But when these are pointed downwards, it actually does light up the whole trunk. Excuse the mess, I know, it's messy. But there you go, there's a little do-it-yourself hack. Again, you can I'll put the link down in the description for these. I believe these are only like $5 or $7 on eBay. They're nothing, they're cheap. And that's a great do-it-yourself hack. And also too, this works for more than just the 2013 Ford Focus. You can do this really on any car you want, as long as you know how to get to your stock cabin lights or trunk lights. Comment, rate, subscribe, and if you have any more questions on how I did this, just go ahead and leave a comment down below. Have a good one, guys. See ya.